Welcome everybody to the session. I'm so happy to start this session. I'm so happy to see so many of you joining. Myself and my colleagues are joining from very cold Vilnius. Peter, who is representing Microsoft Central Eastern Europe team, is joining from Prague. And we would be more than happy to hear where are you joining from. Please put that in chat. We would love to see the partner locations and how many of what countries are you joining in. Um, Even though we have put the content together for partners from Greece and Romania, they are experiencing a big day. Business Central SaaS version is about to be launched April 1st. I know that quite many of you are joining from other countries than Greece and Romania, and that's perfect. For some of you, like in Lithuania, our country, Business Central SaaS version was released not that long ago. So I'm pretty sure you will find the tips and the experience that we share valuable for you. And for the other countries that we're lucky enough to have the solution available for a longer time, I really encourage you to share your experience and provide how was that for you? What tips did work? What did you find valuable or important on your way to others? From the agenda perspective, we are going to have two parts. The first part is going to focus on the sales part. That is on how do we introduce the Business Central SaaS version to our customers? What value points are there? Then we are going to briefly talk on what offers are there that are valuable and not to be missed for you and for your customers. What free tools are there to estimate the upgrade scope? And this is the question that we receive at OneClick Factory quite often. So how do I make this proposal? How do I estimate correctly what my options are, and so on? And lastly, we're going to briefly discuss on what does it take for you as a partner to get your solution to AppSource. And then starting in an hour and a half, most likely with a short break, hopefully with a short break in between, we are going to move to a technical part where we are going to discuss on what are the limitations to upgrade. Again, we're going to look at the same tools, only we are going to read deeper on how do we read those how do we make correct assumptions? How do we prepare the team? What expertise do we need for that team to have, and so on? We are planning to have this as an engaging session. So I really invite and encourage you to use the options that we have. If you have, if you just want to share the tip, a concern, some kind of some opinion, please use the open chat button. Your tip will be visible by all attendees. But in case you have a certain question and you want an answer to it, please use question answer sector. We are guaranteeing, even if we miss a time and don't answer the question right away, we are going to follow up with them with all the questions later on. You can also categorize and prioritize the question. So if someone posts a question and you think, wow, that's important, I would like to hear the answer to this question too, and I would like to have that earlier better than later. Please prioritize, and we would get the answer to that question earlier. We have quite a number of people joining the session. And yes, the panelists will take a stage each by another. All of them prepared a bunch of information that they are eager to share with you, as well as the experience. But my recommendation is not to waste any time. And if you have a question of a particular area, please post that question now already. The panelists will be checking questions answers sector, and they will be responding and communicating with you in the best possible way. So if there's a question that they can take right away, they will not wait till the end to answer it. And now let's introduce the experts that we have on board. Hello, Peter. Peter is joining, as I already mentioned, is representing Microsoft Central Eastern Europe product management team. And from the expertise areas, of course, Peter was going to introduce on what is Microsoft Vision. How should you introduce Business Central SaaS version for your customers? You can ask about competitive advantages, situation on the market, and so on. So basically, if there is a question that you would like Microsoft representative to answer, please use that momentum. Then we have OneClick Factory Strategic Initiatives Director Agne joining. Agne has helped many partners across the world to move their solutions to AppSource. She is also managing OneClick Factory and Microsoft ISV's programs. So anything regarding the solution on how do you move that to AppSource, how are Microsoft incentives working, and what accelerations programs you can expect, you can ask these questions to Agne. Tautvydas, another expert, Tautvydas is representing our Power Platform CRM expertise department at OneClick Factory. At the moment, we see a huge demand for Power Platform solutions, and quite many partners are looking for ways to integrate Business Central with Power Platform, as well as they are asking for strategic workshops. So how do I find this overlapping? How do I find this opportunity to cross-sell and add additional value by introducing Business Central and Power Platform? So if you have the same questions too, please use the opportunity and ask Tautvydas about that. Jonas is technical expert. If you have a question, he will have a separate session. Technical session will be delivered and managed by Jonas. If you have a question, please post it. We will collect these questions and we will use them during the technical session. And as for myself, I am a primary contact for partners from Central Eastern Europe at OneClick Factory. So if there's anything that you would like to learn regarding acceleration programs, and I will introduce that, or CSP program that we have at OneClick Factory, or how can you elaborate and build, use the community that we have to introduce your solutions, please send this question to me. And with that, I am almost ready to give the word to Peter, who is going to introduce Business Central's values. But let's play a little bit. We are very eager for you to guess on which country in Central Eastern Europe has shown the best result once the Business Central SaaS version was available in that country. So let's have some poll. Was that Estonia? Was that Latvia? Maybe Czech Republic, Lithuania? Please guess. And then Peter is going to share his results and his finding on what the actual situation is. So Peter, let us check some polls results. I think they are changing quite fast, but majority of people, at least at the moment, are voting for Estonia. So now, Peter, I am giving the word to you. Please proceed and let us know which one of these were the best one.
Okay, great. Good afternoon for everybody. As was said, I will be discussing the value of the Business Central for you on the opening markets, but of course, in the markets where we already released, you can definitely leverage this information as well. And we are, of course, working with Corp team heavily moving forward to bring some additional countries. So congratulations and welcome to the cloud world for the Greece and Romanian teams, remaining partners. I know that you are working now very heavily to make the localization ready for the April 1st, and what I hear so far, we are on the good track to be there. So definitely the products will be open in the market from the date. We are launching together with Turkey, India. So you can see that CE is very successful in convincing Microsoft Corp to bring additional countries, because we have like half of the worldwide releases in H2 of our fiscal year. And we will be, of course, looking forward. Currently, we are covered on like 70% of previous Navision revenue countries. So we are getting now to smaller revenue countries further on. So welcome again, Romania, Greece. I'm sharing some worldwide numbers, which if you were participating in the Direction conference last year, unfortunately virtual, but I think it was very well done by the organizers to make it interactive and make it for you interesting. So you can see the momentum of Business Central and SaaS worldwide. It's huge numbers. I think This is very good uptake as all the other cloud products you can see. And having 1,000 application outsourced from partners, having growth still in this pace of when the product was launched like 2-3 years ago, is 250%. It's amazing. And here you see as well the answer for the previous poll. So people who voted Estonia are the best knowledge experts in CE, I would say. So yes, this is true. Surprisingly, nobody voted for Hungary. Hungary is like very good country, very close to Estonia. Poland is taking uptake, and of course, I don't want to diminish the other countries as well. I cannot share like CE numbers because this will be against the corporate policy. I took few data points for you, which are not touching revenue, market share, and these type of things. So we just added in one last year 160 customers in CE. This is like amazing number, I would say, in cloud. I'm not talking like here some mixed on-premise on Azure or something. No, real SaaS cloud Business Central. We have growth of users in hundreds of percent, close to 1,000% growth in the users. The average size of user is 13 users, which is a bit bigger than the worldwide number. And I believe that the sweet spot, because we are of course always, when you launch the product, you start with like smaller number of users with smaller companies, then you get to the sweet spot. I believe that sweet spot for Business Central in cloud is somewhere between 20 to 100 users. Of course, the product can manage more, you know it. All the Navision partners are able to sell 500 user licenses in on-premise world. So definitely you can go bigger than this 100, which I said, but like from sales perspective, from where the opportunity really sits for us, where we can hit it and bring it in, I think this sweet spot of 20 till 100, 150 is the right to focus on in your sales and marketing strategies going forward. There is big opportunity for you as a system integrator partners moving into this direction, and I hope that the partners in the countries where the product is launched, based on as well the results which we discussed previously, will share this experience that they see the opportunity. For the new partners, new countries coming, please be ready. Think about it, and it will be discussed very deeply by OneClick later on. Change a bit your approach to business model, or change a lot your approach to business model. This is, I think, the key message here. But the model can become very profitable in some period of time, and it brings still opportunity for you on the services, and even more if you find a way how to package your IP further on, because then you can as well go broader. You can use the partner-to-partner motion. Microsoft is doing a lot of effort, as always, distributors, to bring some additional partners like Office resellers and these type of partners to help you to gain the opportunities. And if you create very solid product packaged in IP, horizontal, vertical, you can really move on, and we see big traction in these directions. Why to choose Business Central in cloud if you start to pitch it to the customer? This is really, the Navision was recognized as industry leader for this segment of the market, for the SMB market, and it still continues. The product functionality is there. We have the Navision good stuff which we were used to. We have it now in cloud, but there is a lot more on top of it. The partner system is growing, as I showed you before. We elaborated in last 2 years very strong SLA, which really works for the customers, and it's confirmed by the daily work that there is no like stops of the production of the system and so on. So really people can trust the system, people can bet on it even with critical workloads and critical enterprises. We offer still to the customers the choice and option of on-premise and cloud. We have as well the hybrid motion that customers can start to use some of the cloud functionalities to get security, to get sure that this is good for them, and then switch fully. Microsoft is the only vendor as a complete cloud vision. And you see from recent competitor acquisitions like Salesforce acquiring Slack that this is our advantage. The other vendors see it. They see that without good connection to Office 365, good connection to Azure, it's more difficult to provide to the customers what is expected right now in the cloud world, real integrated solution which helps them to move forward. You can run end-to-end business processes from Outlook. The integration piece is really strong. Team is bringing the additional further workloads, additional ideas which are shared by the customers and partners into the product. So it was not just a lift and shift of Navision into cloud. I have seen in the last 2 years in the product development a lot of new stuff which was coming there, a lot of new innovation, which is making Business Central cooler than any time before. And the cloud deployment gives you time to defocus a little bit on some of the technical stuff which is needed there, and give you really time to focus on your services, focus on your IP, to develop and deploy things quicker. And as well, with the one version approach, the customers don't need to do the big upgrades in the future. It, as well as a partner, it keeps you on this one version. So there is some effort, of course, to make your IP and make your extensions updated to every release, but it's a smaller effort than moving a customer after 10 years or 6 years to the big version. And customer then hesitates and so on. Here the customer is with you, so this is huge thing. Artificial intelligence is getting into the product, the connection based on building on Azure. All these things are benefiting what we have. And you can still make it extensible, you can still make it scalable based on your changes, extensions, with power-ups and all the platform around. If I get like 5-minute elevator pitch to a customer to say what is the difference of Business Central, what the Business Central brings to them versus some of the other SMB or mid-market solutions in this space, I would pick always these 3 elements. Connect your business, make smarter decisions, and start and grow easily. What does it mean? Connect your business means that really the Business Central is an all-in-one solution. We know that the whole market is a bit moving, especially in the enterprise space, to type of small focused package services. You potentially see it in Dynamics 365 F&O, where the applications are rather spreading. But I think for SMB company, this is crucial to have still all-in-one solution, and more is in the better. And this Business Central really fulfills. You can do the financial management, accounting, budgeting, and everything there. You can do the sales and service management fully, without any compromise versus what was historically in NAD. You can do the supply chain management and manufacturing. There is strong reporting analytics, even better now, with all the Power BI inclusions which are available. Operation management and project management in one. Customers can work on it from computers, from tablets, from the mobile devices. Same look and feel, same experience, very quick and intuitive. I think the new facelift of the Business Central happening in recent 2 years is amazing. It's just something what makes customer user life easier. They like it. We receive very strong feedback from the customers that they will not return back to the previous one, because this is giving them the insights which they need. And of course, the integration with the rest of Microsoft was mentioned already. You can really manage from quote to cash, not moving out of Outlook. So the users from some departments which are typically not accounting don't need to really log in into Business Central so frequently. They can do it just from their communication platform of choice. Make smarter decision is really built on having the information very quickly at the hands for the managers and for the leaders of various departments in the company to get an end-to-end view of their business. And that product is as well giving them already some artificial intelligence to put them insights where they should focus on. So making some things like very visible. Okay, we have these open orders which require attention. This day, please focus on this. And people can adapt these dashboards. People can adapt this view, what they see first when they log in into the system to their needs. And I think various systems have these type of thing. I think Business Central is very strong in this, in intuitiveness, user friendliness, and how people take it from there. We are bringing more and more examples of the artificial intelligence. I think the product ordering, which is shown on the picture here, is one of those, which is predicting the forecast for the purchases based on the situation and the previous purchase and the situation with the vendor. And we will, of course, be bringing more and more of these into the product. The last one, start and grow easily, is really allowing the customer to start from very small deployment to quickly implement it and then grow, then build on it and tailor to their needs. They can adapt the screens. They can as well add some extensions from the industry partners, from you locally, which you create, and they are really ready for growth. Especially many customers are now really liking this in this tough COVID time. You see that I'm as well broadcasting from home. Unfortunately, we have still strict lockdown in Czech Republic, and many customers are really impacted by this. And having a system which is in the cloud, which is really reliable for all the people to connect from anywhere, not solving this VPN connections and things on their own to make it for the on-premise version, it's a very valuable asset. And many customers then can focus on some other burning issues than to make the system available for their people in a secure, trusted way without being afraid of some hacks and some other stuff which can happen if you do it improperly on the on-premise version. With that, I'm closing my presentation, short one, to introduce you, welcoming you again, Greece and Romania, to the cloud world, giving success to the other countries which are uptaking, and we really see it now. Like, we were a little bit nervous in the first moments, but now it's getting up. Yeah, like in last half year, we see strong, tremendous growth. This is confirmed from Germany and from the other Western European markets. The things are really going exponentially there in the Business Central world. So those are good news. Welcome and sell Business Central. Thank you.
Thank you, Petr. It was a very nice introduction and in a very condensed way. Now I just would love to double check with partners. So quite many of you are asking for short fact sheets on how to introduce Business Central. Do you think this is what you were looking for? Can you make a story out of what Petr has just shared? Or maybe you would like OneClick Factory to invest some time and build some short introductions. Please share your thoughts in the chat on whether some tools, sales tools are needed by you. From my side, I would just like to add from what has Petr just shared with our own experience. At OneClick Factory, we are delivering sales trainings, introducing on repeatable motion on how partners should change their way and start selling these cloud-based solutions. And out of these trainings, there are key things that I really find the most valuable as a takeout. So first, try not to focus and come to the customer with a one proposal only. From the psychological way, this is very important that we provide the human brain something that they can play with and they can compare the options. And this is a very good news for the countries that has the Business Central SaaS version available. As now, even if you are not, even if your customer is not ready to move yet, now it's the way for you to come to this option and to compare both very easily compared options as long as they are both cloud options. So. And I have a quote of one of our partners who comes from Estonia. And you were guessing right. The Estonia is showing very good cloud results. And one of the reasons is that usually they come to the customer with two options: Business Central on Azure, Business Central SaaS version, so that customer can choose, but they don't even let customer think of on-premise version any longer or in-house version any longer. So this is what I would ask and encourage you to do too. Prepare these comparable options so that you increase your win ratio. Then always in everything what you do, in all the communication, try to target the primary emotions that we have. Sometimes the emotions are being missed. And the three primary emotions that we wanted to have in the sales process is curiosity, greed, and fear. And they are the level and the importance goes right in this order. First, let's try to bring the curiosity on why is Business Central good for them. Then try to make some, if that doesn't work, try to include the greed on, okay, some others might have tried it already and they are getting ahead of you, and then fear. And the fear element, of course, is this is the strongest ones, but the strongest one with the aim that not to miss something. Lastly, the surveys show that in case we have something that we can educate our customers with, we can increase our likelihood of winning the deal dramatically. The question is always, so what can we educate them with? Um, these are just a couple of ideas. At the moment, we at OneClick Factory receive a lot of questions regarding remote working. So how do I make it happen? How do I make it safe? How do I make my teams collaborate? How do I make business grow by having these remote teams? Another area that we have a lot of questions is security in cloud. For both these areas, to make salespersons, consultants, the role more effective, OneClick Factory has prepared some handouts. If you would go to the handout session, you would find all the handouts we prepared for this session. From the sales side, introducing Business Central, the two handouts that I'm talking about is the myths that go with security in cloud, and the survey that Microsoft has just conducted in Central Eastern Europe market. So Microsoft has asked more than 1,500 customers, mid-size customers, to evaluate the situation on their strategy, IT strategy, and so on. All the key points that we have in the handout are the opportunity itself. So please download, have a look at them. We hope that they will make your sales work more effective. And with this, I am actually turning towards the question that might be on your forehead already. So why is it OneClick Factory who is introducing Business Central SaaS version, who is doing roundtable discussions, who are working hand in hand with Microsoft, trying to land more and more cloud business going on? And here's why. OneClick Factory, well, first, OneClick Factory has always been and always will be a partner-centric company. We don't have any end-user business, and all the services that we have built is to help you, Dynamics partners, grow your business. We have started as upgrade company for business, for NAV and IX. Now, then we matured into the level that we introduced our own self-provisioning hosting, NAV Business Central platform, the solutions platform on Azure. And lastly, in the few years, not only we introduced another competence, Power Platform, because we saw the potential and demand that partners are asking, but we are nominated as CSP indirect provider for the Central Eastern Europe. With this new nomination, we are trying our best to help Dynamics partners succeed in this ever-changing cloud era, trying to land them new deals, explain on what they should look out for while making upgrades and so on. And I would really like to encourage you to join OneClick Factory Acceleration Program that we have prepared for partners from Central Eastern Europe. What this program and what does it have in what did we prepare, and what is the commitment from you maybe as a partner? The idea that we had behind is that, of course, every partner can do the work himself, investigate, learn how the process goes, how the CSP world works, and so on. But with OneClick Factory and with our guidance, you can do it in a much more effective way, saving your pre-sales time and saving the cost side as well. Regardless on what stage you as a partner are, might be that you are new to Dynamics and just starting your Dynamics practice, or you are very experienced Dynamics partner already. We have two programs in place. So for partners who are new to Dynamics, we are introducing the program OneClick to Dynamics, where we are focusing on getting 3 first customers on board and then helping partners to scale out the business, build the practice, package it, and so on. For partners with Dynamics expertise, of course, we can help with very specific knowledge, moving solutions to app source, upgrading, estimating proposals, packaging IP, and so on. I wouldn't stop too much on what is in the program. The idea is that for you as a partner, it doesn't cost anything to join the program. And the basic guidance, the support on licensing, our guidance, what you as partner need to do, some pre-sales effort comes for free. There are no commitments for you or monthly payments that goes with the program. But what you can expect once you join the program, you will be actually assigned with people who would guide you and who would help you build that practice and business. You might have you have also might have noticed the panels and roundtable discussions that we are organizing for partners from Central Eastern Europe. I encourage, if you have the idea and think, okay, this topic is a hot topic in the market, I would like to learn more. Please let us know. We would be more than happy to introduce that discussion and share the practice among the other partners from Central Eastern Europe. The principle and structure of these roundtable discussions are always the same. We always have some Microsoft representative joining and explaining, sharing the Microsoft vision. We have a partner story, a partner with certain expertise on the topic, either it is security or packaging business or selling large installations. And we always have OneClick Factory expert who is kind of in between partner and Microsoft, sharing its knowledge and what other partners are talking about. If you would like, there's a number of discussions that we have held already. The recordings are available. If you would like to receive that, either on packaging business, on security topic, which was quite an intensive session, or selling large installations, just please reach out and we will provide the recordings to you. And next week, we are going to have another session focused on post-pandemic period. I find this session to be quite valuable too, and the topic very interested. At the moment, what we see, customers are looking for really urgent solutions or something that they can explore and use right away. But the post-pandemic period will have its own nuances. The history tends to repeat itself, and what we see out of the history that investments after the crisis is over, investments start. Customers will be looking forward to grow their business. They will be looking forward for solutions that help them do it. And we as Dynamics partners should be prepared to address this demand. So if you haven't registered to the session already, I really invite you to and share on what we as Dynamics partners have to prepare and land in order to be prepared after the crisis is over, and it will be over. I'm pretty sure about that. So from the acceleration point, if you are not a partner yet, I encourage you to join. It's really easy to connect with OneClick Factory, send us an email, verify as a partner, and from there we will take over. The first acceleration discovery workshop, where we come together with a partner and we build the strategy on what steps do they need to take in order to move business to other level, comes for free. So I encourage you to sign up and request the workshop that comes with the program. With this, oh no, with not yet. With that, I just introduced you the CSP indirect provider concept that we have. With that, I would like to invite you to have another poll and let us know what are the things that you are looking forward from your CSP indirect provider. Is that maybe community knowledge sharing, or maybe support on specific Dynamics 365 Business Central licensing questions, or maybe upgrade questions, maybe Azure expertise is what you're looking for. Please let me know so that we could have that in mind and maybe adapt our accelerations programs accordingly. And let me just check the poll questions. Okay, so it's I see that it's almost equally split, that partners are looking in for deep knowledge and for support and for cooperation. So the cooperation piece is something that I hear quite often. If you if you would like to introduce your solutions to the market, let's connect and discuss on whether it would be possible. At the moment, we don't have very good program for that, but because partners are asking, we are putting that as a long-term goal for OneClick Factory to build a strategy and help partners sell the solutions that they have made. And with this, I am inviting Agne to take the stage. Agne is prepared to share on what does it take to become a reseller, CSP reseller. What incentives are there for you as a partner? And Agne, would you like me to introduce the poll question now, or do we wait as we see this poll going on yet?
Inga, as you would like to. You are the boss here.
Okay, then I invite you to take another poll, and I hope that you will not get tired of that. But we want that session to be an engaging session and to gather your feedback as well. So please share. Let me just see if my colleague has uploaded the poll question already. Please let us know. New poll starts. On what is your experience with the CSP reseller? Are you aware of the program? How deep, Agne, should focus in your introduction? Do you have experience? And I don't see the poll coming. Okay, Agne, please take over because I don't see the poll.
No worries at all. Good day, everyone. My name is Agne, just like Inga mentioned already, and it is a pleasure to be with you today. Right? Cloud Solution Provider program and being Cloud Solution Provider reseller brings an opportunity to offer Business Central SaaS solution to your customers. And not only Business Central SaaS solution, but as well as on-prem solution and number of other Microsoft offerings. What would we do? We would quickly look into overall Microsoft licensing options that are available and where Cloud Solution Provider program stands within all of those options. What can we sell through CSP program, and what are the earning opportunities within the program as such, and of course how to join it, right? So first of all, how customers can buy Microsoft software and services, right? There are several channels. One channel is through Microsoft, either from the Microsoft salesperson or through Microsoft website. And if you are following general statistics, right, not that many customers are using the Microsoft channel. For example, product like Office 365 that is rather standardized and rather nicely available via website, less than 2% of the worldwide Microsoft sales are coming from the Microsoft website, even there. And of course, the other channel through which customers could acquire Microsoft software and services is through the partner network and through the partner channel, right? And for more than 20 years, there is the volume licensing program available. Dynamics price list is one of the elements of the volume licensing agreements, where different type of agreements, different type of services, different type of requirements, you know, to get engaged with. And of course, that is as the market is moving forward, and as you know, the customers would like to utilize much broader spectrum of Microsoft software and services, Microsoft felt a few years ago that there is a need for a new program that would be easy from the customer's perspective to engage with the Microsoft and with the partner to acquire, you know, whether that's on-prem software, whether that's online services or Microsoft Azure services as such. So this is when cloud solution provider program got established, and more services are being available through the program as we speak. So as I mentioned, right, the program got here because Microsoft wanted to simplify customer experience, and as we are serving customers that are as well utilizing Microsoft software and services, right, it is very good for us as partners to have much leaner experience for the customers. Another really nice element of the Cloud Solution Provider program is that we can serve with the program customers of any sizes, meaning that the customer who needs a single license to start with could be served with through the CSP program. And of course, partner is the owner of the customer who is providing end-to-end experience to the customer through the Cloud Solution Provider program. The list of the solutions and services that could be offered is rather extensive. These are all license-based services, and license-based services are the business applications and Power Platform applications that are available within the SaaS and cloud environments. As well, these are usage-based services, just like Microsoft Azure, that one can start consuming. Microsoft Azure reserved instances are on the list. Microsoft is adding software subscriptions and more of the perpetual software into the CSP program, as well as there is an option to acquire ISP solutions from the Microsoft commercial marketplace via the CSP program as well. So it is extensive variety of elements that could be offered through the CSP program. How to join the program, right? If any of you who is not yet within the program yet, so first of all, it is to join the Microsoft Partner Network. Then it is to enroll in the Cloud Solution Provider program. That is a click, right? And at that point in time, you need to connect with an indirect provider. And I recommend you connect with OneClick Factory. As you connect with an indirect provider, you are invited to enroll into Microsoft CSP incentive programs that you could learn Microsoft CSP incentives from all of the transactions that you are performing. You could see the grayish element of the direct partner. Theoretically, there is an opportunity to transact directly with Microsoft, not for an indirect provider. But I'm calling that a theoretical option. No, there is a significant threshold of the financial commitment, another commitment involved, and there are no calls for direct partners to join in the CSP program currently. Okay, so if we are in the CSP program already, so where is the business coming from, right? So the business within the CSP program is first of all that there is a Microsoft recommended retail price that is available on the Microsoft website and in other generic communication. There is a list price at which you are buying offerings from your indirect provider, and you are adding a markup on top. In addition to the markup that you would be earning on a monthly basis, there is a CSP indirect reseller incentives that are foreseen for an annual period usually, and those incentives are currently available until September 30th, 2021. Where, for example, Business Central SaaS is incentivized at 9% of the incentives with each sale of Business Central SaaS. And by the way, with the dual use rights of the Microsoft Business Central offering, Business Central via the CSP could be used within the cloud environment, but as well as in the on-prem environment as well. how to enroll into the CSP indirect reseller incentive program. So first of all is question of the rights, right? So and this was probably the most difficult question to solve within your organization. So when you are thinking about enrolling into the incentive program, the user who is about to enroll would have to have incentive administrators right. So when going to Microsoft Partner Center, please check who is your administrator within your organization and ask that person to grant your incentive administrators right. And after that, all of the things are rather straightforward. So you are choosing the program, you are enrolling into that program, and I would advise you to allocate 10 minutes to fill in your your company's financial details correctly, so that money could start flowing into your account. Where to go next from here? So first thing you would like to could consider looking into is the indirect reseller incentive library with all of the details about the incentives, their application, how to set things up for you, etc. and etc. And another area very relevant could be for you to look into is the to get to know more about the cloud solution provider program is get training for the cloud solution provider program, how that works, how the licensing works, so that you could acquire the testing. And especially if you are the from the sales organization, it is rather straightforward. You would allocate something like an hour to review very condensed video materials and take a test to answer something like 20 questions and acquire the certification. And with that, Inga, back to you. Inga, you might want to unmute yourself before we continue.
Yes, a very good tip, Agnia. Thank you. So, Agnia, we have one question regarding app source from Nikolai. So, I suggest you have a look at this and either solve it, either answer, or we can wait till we enter the app source section and then discuss in more details. But I would like to draw your attention that there is a question regarding app source. Thank you. Back to me. Let's move with the best offers not to be missed. Even though when I mentioned here best offers, in reality, I would recommend you to look at all the trainings that Microsoft has at the moment, because if you have a look at the handout session, we prepared a we are sharing information by Microsoft of what trainings are there available at the moment. This is one of the areas for you not to miss. But then there is one offer that I really encourage you to have a look for partners from Romania and Greece. Others maybe are on top of this offer already. As I had one conversation with one of the partners recently, and he goes, well, not always Microsoft hits the target with the offers, but this one is definitely something what the partners were looking for. And customers. So what is this offer about? This is a CSBP renewal offer. Sometimes you might hear the other nickname for that, BREP to CSP campaign. Why is this offer important? It enables customers to have the opportunity to split their prep payments in pieces and then divide that in 12 months, plus get the dual rights and benefits that go along with that. Who is eligible? We had the discussion, we had a separate session on purely focused on this campaign itself. And for those who missed that and we would like to get the recording, please let us know and we will share the recording because it was covered in much more comprehensive way. But in reality, if only you have a customer whose prep is going to end before June 30th. And yes, I understand that for Romanian and Greece partners, that might be not too many customers that are eligible, but if you have, please review the customer list. Check if you have customers with active prep and suggest this campaign with them. As the other partner, Darius said during the last session, there's just one downside with this campaign. Not all the customers were eligible for this offer. So Greece and Romanian partners, now you will be, and your customers will be. What's exactly in the offer? There are two segments of customers that could find it valuable. First, it's customers who are looking forward to pay BREP in pieces, rather monthly payments or not yearly payments. Even if they are not planning to migrate to SaaS version soon, meaning in short time, we still recommend to have a look at this option and encourage them to do so. They will have a 3-year period to make their mind by keeping dual rights on-premise and CSP. There's a huge discount on CSP licenses that goes with the offer. So for our estimations and calculations shows that this discount, it can be starting from 60 and lasting to maybe 90%, depending on the amount of licenses that we can calculate as the final number of licenses customer receives. Customers can request for 1/4 free licenses. This is a ratio, money ratio, euro ratio, not licenses ratio. And and lastly, if the customer is ready to migrate to SaaS within 3 years, they will be ready already, meaning they will have SaaS licenses in place on the table prepared to use. From the challenger side, we have tried talking to partners and trying to figure out, are there any downsides with that offer? The only thing that we figured out was the one that I mentioned already, is that not all the customers are eligible. The campaign has started last year in July already, and it will end this year, end of June. But there are other also challenging sides. This is quite a complex, there's a complexity in that offer. If you are too confused on how to use that, what are benefits for you and partner, what are benefits for your customers, please reach out. OneClick Factory has prepared the detailed calculations ready for your disposal, Excel calculators, where you can simply add on what the BREP amount your customer is having at the moment, is paying at the moment, how many licenses they are eligible to, and we can build that offer in less than 15 minutes together. And yes, sometimes the offer sounds too good to be true, but it is. And if we are, and even from the partner perspective, there's a good for customers. They are saving money on licenses. They can split the payment, but you as a partner are winning with this campaign as well. All the calculations that we have done, we see that there is a partner business case behind. You would be much more profitable introducing CSP, this BREP to CSP campaign, rather than have your customer pay regular BREP. So if you need help on that, downloadables are available. Again, I would like to direct you to the section on handouts. We prepared 2 guides, very detailed guides that go along with that program. One of them is called Everything that you need to know about BREP to CSP offer, where you can see the details, who is eligible, when, what you should look out, how should you calculate, and so on. And the other is all the top questions that we see partners asking. So I recommend you download these both guides, but first of all, I recommend you filter all your customers to make sure that you have customers who are still eligible for this offer and suggest them use it. As the other downside that we see, if customer misses the offer, everybody loses. You as a partner losing, Microsoft is losing, and customer is losing. There are no winning with this offer.
If I can get to it very shortly, this is of course a very good offer to move customers to cloud, but as well, the offer was introduced last year, especially as well to help customers in the COVID time to get monthly payment of the BREP. Yeah? So this is other way how to look at it. If you have still customer with BREP anniversary, which is coming, the customer is not moving to cloud, but have payment troubles and you want to help them on the monthly payment, this is the way how you can make the BREP payment into monthly payments through CSP for this next 2 years from now, because this one first year is almost out until the June. But this is as well how to look at it. This was as well one of the part of thinking originally when the offer was brought to market. But as Inga presented, this is great offer to get the customer to the cloud because they get cloud licenses with that dual rates. So it's a great way how to secure them. They can still use on-prem to be sure that everything is running, but migrate during the next upcoming years. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Petru, for the comment. And lastly, if you want to make sure that you don't miss any offers that they are on the market, please follow our you are the first ones to know. We have just established it the page on LinkedIn. We will get that in a more structured way, and every time we hear some important CSP news coming, roundtable discussions, panels, some news from Microsoft, we are going to use this channel to post all the valuable offers that are there not to be missed. So I encourage you to go and follow us on LinkedIn. And with this, I would like to give the stage back to Agne focusing on upgrades. Another interesting area and questions that we receive from partners. Okay, so how do I make the estimate? How do I calculate the upgrade to Business Central SaaS version? What is there to look out? We are not going to look very deep into the technical side, as we are going to have a separate session, the technical session coming right after this business one. But Agne will introduce the tool, the free tool that we have at OneClick Factory and build particular for partners from across the world, Dynamics partners, to estimate the upgrade scope. So Agne, back to you.
Thank you, Inga. So with Business Central becoming available in Greece and Romania, there is a very good opportunity to discuss customer upgrade path. As well as Microsoft is bringing us that opportunity to discuss the roadmap of the application on a biannual basis, with every release, every April and every October, with the release of an update, to look with the customer into what's new, what is of the benefit, whether the time to move forward now or not. And it is, of course, a really nice thing to inform about all of the nice capabilities that the product has and its integrations with other technological solutions available in the market and going forward. And usually we are well prepared for that discussion. But as soon as we bring a question on the table about the bright future, we receive a number of questions back. So what is the investment to move forward? How complex would it be? What to move forward? Whether to migrate data, or whether to move customizations, or whether to move none of that and start from the scratch. And to answer all of those questions is either we have a team of experts dedicated to solve the case-by-case questions for each of our customers, or we need to look for an advice elsewhere. And here, let me introduce a OneClick Factory Upgrade Analyzer, who is dramatically helping partners to have a very reasonable conversations with the customers on their upgrade path. It is super easy to use. We are asking to provide the key information on the customer. If we are talking about the CL solution, that is FOB file of the application that you are uploading via 24/7 available website. We take something like 5 business days to analyze and to come back in an upgrade analyzer that is an online application, an output of a fixed price, different options, how that customer could move forward into the new versions. As soon as you configured few things within that online application, and like for example, customers could have several add-on solutions, and you could choose to upgrade one to remove the other. And in an online world 30 seconds takes a lot of time, but if you adjust parameters in something like 30 seconds, OneClick Factory is providing a fixed price proposal, online, real time, so that you could have meaningful discussion with your customer. As soon as you are satisfied with your setup, you are welcome to export proposal from the OneClick Factory, where OneClick Factory commits to deliver a project for that specific pricing and within that specific scope for 3 months, so that you could have a discussion with your customer. And later on, we are to execute successful upgrade project. So now let us look into the upgrade analyzer as such and see what kind of the options are available out of the box. So first of all, OneClick Factory, when thinking about the upgrade options for the customer, first of all, we are thinking from the perspective whether customer is about to move to an on-prem environment or to the SaaS environment, right? And there could be different options why customer would like to move to the SaaS and not to the on-prem, or why customer would like to move to the on-prem and not onto the SaaS. Usually, on-prem environment is chosen due to the limitations, technological limitations, when the SaaS transition is not yet possible. Then the other element OneClick Factory is considering is whether customer would like to move data only and start like from the fresh with a standard Business Central application. And so you could think about the re-implementation plan here, or whether customer would like to move data together with the customizations that they've already created and that they are using. And of course, sometimes customer understands the benefits of the cloud, but they are not yet ready to make the first step, right? So in that option, OneClick Factory suggested a phased transition approach, where as a step 1, we are moving into the on-prem. We are posting all of the requests to solve technical limitations with Microsoft, and then as a step 2, when the solution is ready to move into the SaaS, we are moving into the SaaS world. The beauty of the upgrade analyzer is that it provides out of the box several options on how you could move your customer forward, where it is very clearly seen economical implication on one way or the other, so that you could have a really nice and straightforward discussion with your customers. And we evaluate that in reality for your organization to prepare such in-depth detail of a way forward could be something like 15, maybe 20 days of effort, right? And here in 5 days, you could have a service out of OneClick Factory that is free of charge. You could ask how OneClick Factory can serve, provide this kind of service out of charge. And the answer is, of course, we are very specialized and have acknowledged or acquired through all of those years expertise, but not only expertise as well. We invested dramatically in tools, automation tools that is helping us to spot all of the efforts and all of the work that needs to be performed, and therefore we can provide a fixed price offering towards you so that you could discuss these with the customers. What is not included within the upgrade analyzer? That is an important element, right? OneClick Factory is providing a technical side of an upgrade. And this is a technical side of the scope of moving of your solution into the future. Pieces like customer training, go live support would be on the partner side, and partner would have to implement the upgraded solution and would have to help customer with the first steps within that solution. If you need a support on during the weekend with the live data migration, OneClick Factory can help with the technical task of the live data migration here as well. So with OneClick Factory Upgrade Analyzer, you can now connect with your customers, all of your customer database, and ask whether they would be interested to receive a proposal. And you could utilize OneClick Factory Upgrade Analyzer to get all of your customers served. So we believe that we would dramatically save your sales time. We would provide out of the box, easy to understand the upgrade options that you would later on discuss with your customer, with the economic impact next to all of the theoretical options on how you could move forward. And we believe that will help you move your customers forward into the future. One time, to having an upgrade project and then keeping up with the updates that are much easier and that could help customers stay up to date with the recent technologies. And it is free, right? So Inga, with that, back to you.
Thank you, Agna. Yes, dear partners, please utilize and don't worry. But I have some situations where partners as well, but I'm not going to buy upgrade. I don't want to utilize. No, please use the service. The service was created for you so that you could save pre-sales time and that you could see every customer could receive an upgrade proposal and they could at least start transitioning from on-prem to cloud and had the upgrade proposal on the table. So please, I just want to encourage you not to have any concern and use OneClick Factory service that we have built for you. And with this, I would like to invite Tautvydas on the stage. As I mentioned before, we see a huge demand for Power Platform. And there are two types of partners that are addressing to OneClick Factory for knowledge on the Power Platform. One of them, and this is quite a huge bulk too, partners who have never been with Dynamics, but they see a Power Platform as a way to open Dynamics world for them. The other the other part of the partners interested in Power Platform are actually Dynamics partners who either are looking for ways to open doors at competitor side, because Power Platform is enabling to open the door quickly, or who are looking for ways to upsell the solution. And the majority of these upsell partners are asking, so how can I? I have been selling Dynamics NEV or Business Central or BC all my life. How can I integrate both of them? And how can I introduce Power Platform capabilities for my customers? So we try to collect the bunch of information to help you understand the vision on what we have. But if you would like to have a more comprehensive discussion, we would be more than happy to have this strategic acceleration session with you and help you get the benefit out of that. So Tautvydas, with this, I am giving the stage to you and the word to you.
Thank you, Inga. So hello everyone. Yeah, it's really a pleasure to talk about Power Platform to non-CRM developers and partners, because I'm coming from CRM world, and Power Platform is much more natural over there and much more connected. So when talking about Power Platform with the finance and operation partners, with the Business Central partners, we found much more uncovered areas, much more connecting points about which partners didn't knew before. So it's really nice to introduce to all of these. And in the context of Business Central, I would like to expand like 3 areas. How you can either utilize or, as Inga mentioned, upsell extra services next to what you do today. So one is Power Platform to extend Business Central. It means that you can think of it as the technology which you get there in most cases for free, and you can just utilize some modern ways to expand your Business Central to create some new experiences for your customers and users. Another area is how to integrate with the CRM apps, because what Microsoft is doing is really trying to connect all the pieces, all the platforms together, like whether it will be CRM to ERP platforms, SharePoint, Office 365 services, Teams, integrations to all the services. So we see more and more integrations. So it's really a chance to discuss it with the customers, how to integrate the data between CRM and the ERP part. And the third area is once you learn Power Platform, once you know the power of it, it could become just a new business line for you, a new area where you can start doing not only regular ERP things for your customers, but you can say that, okay, on top we can deliver you some other business application, maybe a small one or something bigger. And with this low-code Power Platform, it's very easy to do and learn and start doing it. Okay, so first area is extending Business Central, and I want to emphasize the area which I, in many cases, missed or forgotten, or maybe many partners just don't know, that if you sell Dynamics 365 Business Central, the full license, not the Teams, as Teams does not include this, but the full license, it automatically gets Power Apps and Power Automate license, or just capabilities which you can use in the same context of Business Central. So there are some copy-paste from the licensing documents, so you can read them later. But the whole thing that you can establish an environment, one of the Dataverse Common Data Service environments, and you can create apps in it. And if you connect it to Business Central and utilize the Business Central data, then you can create such apps for free. Or you can as well to use Power Automate flows, again, to automate some background workflows or processes, or do integrations with other systems. This is some very simplified architectural diagram about the connectivities between Power Platform and Dynamics 365 Business Central, and the Dataverse, which used to be called Common Data Service, and the CRM applications. And so we see that Dynamics 365 Business Central is not living on top, or is not utilizing the Common Data Service itself, but there are possibilities to integrate it. Like today, we have 2 techniques to do that. And with this integration, we can connect your data to a CRM, or utilize Power Apps portals, or create a new model-driven apps. And again, when we're speaking about Power Platform and Power Apps, it's very important to distinguish that there are two types of it: Canvas apps and model-driven apps. Model-driven apps are the ones which just are created on top of Dataverse. And the Canvas apps, with the connectors, we can connect to any data sources. The Dataverse itself, there is connector for Business Central, the online one, also even on-premise. So you can connect the Canvas app, which runs in the cloud, to your on-premise Business Central installation via so-called on-premise gateways, data gateways. And also Power Automate, which connects with the connectors to all the data sources, and not even Microsoft. There are hundreds of them, and you can connect to any third-party systems and do the integrations. Here are a couple of scenarios which we are learning from the partners who are doing. Usually, the scenarios are coming mostly from F&O, because the integrations with F&O and Power Platform, it's one step ahead of Business Central and all the technical solutions from Microsoft as well. So it's a good chance to learn what those teams and those partners are already doing. So what we see as the opportunities to use the Power Automate, which are the flows and workflows. The Power Automate has a strong approval workflow engine. So if you need approvals from different stakeholders, even those which don't have Business Central accounts, let's say, you can use Power Automate to run those approvals with the Power Automate. If you need to do a scheduled or event-based flows, if something changed, or every night or every day you have to transfer data, download some, I don't know, currency rates and update on your database, you can do it with the Power Automates. You can schedule alerts if something happened, new orders or missing orders, missing payments appear. You can set up alert rules and notify many stakeholders around this. As I mentioned a couple of times, integrations with other systems. So Power Automate could really help you here, because there are many connectors, and you can even build your own ones if there is missing out of the box. The new area, which is we see on high demand today, is robotic process automation. And it opens the doors for you to integrate not only with the systems which have the APIs available, but even very legacy systems where customers have something which don't have databases, APIs, or anything. So you can use this robotic process automation, or desktop flows in Microsoft terminology, and just simulate the regular user entering data, entering invoices, or I don't know, you have to download some data from some state authorities or something for regulations, and they don't provide any APIs. So with the robotic process automation, you can simulate user, you can record the steps, how to travel, which fields to enter logins and download the data. You can use it for just expanding your capabilities and automation of your Business Central deployments. Power Apps itself, I mentioned, it could be Canvas app and model-driven apps. Of course, the first scenario is the mobile application. If we talk about the Canvas app, like mobile worker scenarios who are traveling through, I don't know, stores, doing inspections or something, entering hours, you can develop the Canvas app to do that. And also, it's not limited to this. So the Canvas app can be even embedded to your Business Central app if you need more flexible UI, which you cannot get with a regular development. You can open it on a button in the other window as well. And also you can develop some limited approach apps. Of course, in that case, you would need to buy a Power Apps license, which is cheaper, but for some users, it might be a good scenario to mix the regular Business Central users and Power Apps users. Then Power Apps portals is an opportunity which runs on the Dataverse, where you can create external facing portals for your customers, partners, and like self-service portals, and etc. Power Virtual Agents is a possibility for you to create the chatbots and integrate them, like whether to use internally or to expose them to your customers or vendors. Again, building on top of the data and utilizing the connectors and artificial intelligence. When it comes to a second area, so of course, it's always possibility for you to talk about the integration with customer if they use Microsoft Dynamics 365 CRM and CRM apps, which are sales, customer service, field service. And there is Microsoft prepare ways how to integrate. It's not a one-click, so it would require effort from you, and it could be a good upsell as well. And the main pitch is not, it's always good that you don't need to enter data twice. You don't need to maintain your customers or like invoices into systems. You kind of create invoice in CRM or vice versa in Business Central. It can be visible in CRM. You create customer in CRM. It can be automatically synced to a Business Central. And yeah, so there are many possibilities with that. And the last area, as I mentioned, if you already learned the technology, low code is pretty easy to learn, pretty easy to start, and you can feel that, you can start offering just creation of the new apps for your customers. Let's say they need something additional on top of ERP. No problem, we can do that. And with the Power Apps, with the Power Automate, and again, as I mentioned, that there is a big demand and interest today for robotic process automation or desktop flows, where you can say legacy systems, no problem. We can automate with that. We can integrate. We can scrape data from any legacy systems which don't provide APIs and integration points. And yep, so 3 areas for you. And if you feel stuck, if you miss some information, so we are always happy to help you ad hoc or through our acceleration program Inga and Agnia talked about before. So thanks a lot for the attention.
Thank you, Tautvydas. So the Tautvydas stays here for a while. If you have a question to go to Tautvydas, please post it on question and answer sector. I see that there is a thread going on already. So I hope that the answers that are published, I see that they're being answered. So if you have a question regarding Power Platform, use the chat button too. And with that, let's enter the last sector of the session that we prepared for the sales part, which is packaging the solutions, preparing them for AppSource. So Agnia, back to you.
Thank you, Inga. Okay, so AppSource, right? OneClick Factory has an honor to be one of the few Microsoft's appointed ISV development centers worldwide. And super happy we have helped a number of ISVs to get to the AppSource or on their transition as such. So I'll share my opinion what the AppSource is, and to look into the key questions you might need to consider when thinking about the AppSource from your own perspective, and as well a light touch on the localization element that is that will be needed for Romania and Greece countries. So when we are looking into the AppSource as such, we see that there is a significant amount of the apps available for the Business Central already. Right? And definitely, either you are on the AppSource or you are not in the radar as such in general. Right? AppSource is presented as a marketplace Though I would say it is definitely 100% platform to provision your solutions for the Business Central SaaS customers, right? It tremendously increases efficiency, and it tremendously saves your effort to support customers that are using your apps. And other element, like Peter shared, to be successful in the cloud, we need intellectual property that we can resell and that we can monetize. And the only way to have a repeatable intellectual property for the Business Central is through the app source as such, right? So there is, I'd say there should be no hesitation for you either to get onto the app source or to consider your way towards the app source. Right? And when we are thinking about the app source as such, let me share with you the key questions that you could look into. Right? There is a set of the questions in the phase of the getting prepared. You know, what are the rules? If I do have an intellectual property or add-on on the Business Central already, how do I transition that into to be ready for the app source? What kind of skills do I need? And I'll dive deeper into key elements here later on through the presentation. But as well, you need to consider things like, you know, what are you developing or what are you transforming? You know, is my design right there? You know, when I think it is already ready for the app source, is it really ready for the app source? How will I sell? How will I recruit new customers? How will I migrate existing customers so that they could use the solution that I will be provisioning onto the app source? And last but not least, with the biannual product release cycle, how will I ensure that I have all of the practices in place to maintain solution efficiently going forward, right? So we need to think about the overall picture before starting to move into the app source idea. So from the get prepared question, you know, there is a rather straightforward answer on what's required from the Microsoft side. There is really nice marketing and technical validation requirements, really nicely documented, right? But on top of that, you need to think about the other best practices for the software, right? Like the automated tests that you would like to have in place to make sure that you can later on maintain your solution. The telemetry that you would like to implement so that you understand how your solution would be used by your customers. What are they preferring? What are they not preferring within your solution? You need to take care of the monetization yourself, and you need to make sure you are protecting your intellectual property as well, and you need to define and find the way to do that. You need to have the offering. That's rather obvious, but sometimes, you know, we do have a solution that we are implementing for the customer, but now we are thinking about the potentially cloud offering, potentially a cross-border offerings, right? And the ability to monetize your intellectual property around the world, if that's possible, right? You need to have a plan to stay current, and you need to think about the infrastructure before moving forward. You definitely need to have a dedicated object range you would need to ask for. You need to have a prefix to make sure that all of the development you are doing is okayish and is in line with the Microsoft's requirements. And you need to connect to the collaborate, to access documentation, training, and development environments where to develop the apps. There was a question in the Q&A on the development environment, and as Jonas will be covering a technical session later on, he will look into detail into the methods how you could set up environment to develop your solution, your ISV solution, and how to test that ISV solution that you are about to develop. And of course, the last but not least things of the getting prepared is to have everything ready on the Microsoft Partner Center. So this means that you need to be a partner on the Microsoft Partner Center, right? And as you are there, then it is rather straightforward. From the dashboard under the commercial marketplace, you can create a new offer and you can post it rather straightforwardly from there. So now let me look into the marketing and technical validation requirements and a bit about the offering as such. So when we are thinking about the offering, the first thing is what we are offering, what kind of solution we are offering. And I'm pretty sure a majority of us are well aware, whether that's an extension for warehousing or an extension for the bakery functional needs, but of course, the first thing is first. But then later on, we could start asking ourselves a question on who is our buyer, how that solution is tailored for our buyer, how that buyer will find us, how our solution is differentiated from the other solutions in the market for that specific buyer. What would be our buyer's journey to find, first of all, to find and discover our solution, and later on engage into that solution, to have a trial and to start using the solution. And there is a rather extensive framework of whether our messaging is tailored to our buyer to find us, whether it is our buyer, when they find us, it is straightforward for them that we are solving their need, and it is straightforward for them what kind of budget expectation our buyer should have to move forward, how they can try solution out. And I'd say Microsoft is doing a terrific job here. With the Business Central SaaS and with the app source, it is easier than ever to have a trial environment and for the customer to try out the solution, or for the partners to try out solutions from the other ISV providers and to choose the right solution that they could recommend for their own customer, right? So we need to think in that customer journey, whether that will be a true customer, the owner of the bakery that would be finding our solution, or whether that would be a consultant within the partner organization who is serving the bakery, who would find our solution on the Microsoft App Source and would try it out and would figure out whether to recommend or not to recommend that solution to your customers. We need, of course, to think about the sales channel, whether that will be just us who would be implementing the solutions that are on the app source already, or whether we are about to build a global network of partners who could be implementing those solutions to customers worldwide, right? And of course, how are we packaging and how we are pricing and how we are to collect money for the solution that we are offering. These are all of the things we need to think up front. And then later on, depending on the solutions we think and the offering we define, these would have to be implemented technologically within the product, within the telemetries, within the IP protection, etc., etc. So I encourage, first of all, to think about the offering, right? And then there is I would say, as soon as we have the offering, there is a straightforward task of satisfying marketing requirements, Microsoft marketing requirements, to set up apps landing page. That is on Microsoft App Source. So we need to make sure there is a branding according to Microsoft requirements. We are setting up the offer under Business Central, and with all of the other parameters and properties, we are providing all of the assets for the listing and for the countries where it is available. As well, here we would need to think about the things like, for example, privacy policy and what is the license agreement and other elements that are rather commercial so that we can publish the app on the app source. Besides the marketing requirements that I would say are rather easy to satisfy as soon as you have an app, there is a list of the technical requirements that we should be cautious on, but it's as well really nicely documented and really nicely explained. So we do need an extension within an AL with the technical requirements for web services or file management or other things. When we are creating any new field, we need to use our own prefix so that our own salesperson and the salesperson within the ISV solution from the other partner would build no conflicts. We have to comply with settings and formats. We have to digitally sign our solution, and we need to define a user scenario documentation that would be used for a pre-selected manual testing of your app. And of course, we need to test the app before submitting it for the Microsoft's validation. Microsoft validation service is free of charge. So we could think that I'm building something, anything, right, and submitting it to Microsoft for Microsoft to validate. And literally, we could do that several times. Of course, validation takes time. So if you have certain deadline, that deadline would move further out. But in general, Microsoft sees what kind of things partners are submitting for the validation. There is a set of the things that are validated automatically and set of the things that are looked in and validated manually. And we all want to be good friends with Microsoft. So therefore, I encourage you, before publishing anything onto the app source, thoroughly test things. Of course, when you have an app on the app source, you are now delivering a service, right? It is no longer a software. So we have to think about continuous development and continuous integration. And that means we need to continuously check for changes. And we need to check for those changes in the major and as well in the minor releases. And minor releases are coming out, just a reminder, on a monthly basis, right? So their automated testing is very, very helpful, and DevOps process is very, very helpful, right? So we have to check for changes. We have to fix things if needed. We need to self-validate and submit for validation once again, together with the fixes our app. So that is a monthly process you could consider adding into your operational tasks to run and to foresee. And when thinking about pricing your solution and servicing your solution, these are the costs that should be part of your monthly fee of your solution to cover the solution maintenance cost going forward. As such. And last but not least thing is a localization apps, right? So a number of countries already have a localization apps. For some lucky countries, Microsoft is providing a localization. But for some countries in Central Eastern Europe, just like Greece and Romania, partners would have to take care and to localize Business Central before offering to the customers. From the Microsoft perspective, localizations apps are just like any other app. Partner is owning the app, partner is monetizing the app, and any partner can build localization apps. There are no specific certification or authorization or anything from the Microsoft out there. But learning from the experience in other countries, localization takes time, right? And therefore, the recommendation would be to pool your resources and to build partnerships with each other when building a localization for your market, so that there is not like 5 localizations in your market end of the day. Each of them would have to be supported and maintained. There were significant investments in making that localization, but rather one good localization that any customer could trust. And when thinking about the delivering up to a deadline, the recommendation would be to aim for the deadline -1 month or -4 weeks, because validation takes time. Microsoft validation always finds things to fix, right? Fixing takes time, and revalidation takes time as well. And with that, Inga, back to you.
Thank you, Agnia. We have a very interesting question from Yanis, who asks, well, does OneClick Factory itself have any solutions on AppSource?
So OneClick Factory has a few consultancy offerings on the AppSource. These are assessments or validations provided through the partners, but OneClick Factory has no app on the AppSource as such. Our sister company has Extension Agent app on the AppSource, and OneClick Factory has helped over 200 ISVs to get their apps onto the AppSource as such.
Thank you, Agnia. And now we see that Petr has said goodbye already, and we see that Jonas is up on the screen ready to take over with the technical part. So I would like to thank all panelists that joined on sales part. You're more than welcome to stay and maybe to support Jonas on the questions answers. Before I provide the word to Jonas, I would just like to end. Please request OneClick Factory with any support that you would need. We are more than happy to help you on your way to repeatability, on your way to cloud, and help you with Business Central SaaS. Of course, I would encourage you to join OneClick Factory CSP program. There is no commitment from your side, but from our side, we would assign experts who would guide you through the process and who would make sure that your business is continuous and grows. And even now, before we are a bit late on time, and just to check with the audience, can you please let us know on chat whether we have technical people joining? We had some confusion. Well, we started with the sales part, and now we're moving to the technical. But just let us know: do we have technical people with us? And Jonas, back to you. Oh, yes, we do have technical people with us. Okay, we continue with our session. Now we are going to deep dive into a more heavy stuff, something that is above the level that I can address, but something that can be managed by Jonas. So, Jonas.
Okay, I am overtaking the session then. So now we will try to talk about technical part, and maybe it would be not 100% technical. I still will try to connect a line between sales and technical part, and about we will talk about the mindset, how we should think about solutions, how to move to SaaS, how to prepare, and what to do in this today's situations at all with this all new online things. So first of all, we need to change our mindset. That many years we lived with Navision business and with Dynamics NAV, with this old style of thinking, where we were taught that everything is possible in on-premise world, everything can be customized, there is no impossible customizations that too expensive, and in the result, we have lots of heavily customized customer solutions that are absolutely not ready for this new world. And we need to know some rules before moving our existing solutions to cloud. That cloud is not a panacea for everything. Not universal thing solving all problems of the customer. If they have complex problematic solutions, those solutions would stay problematic if you will go to cloud. And if they have problems with the architecture, if solution is too complicated, too difficult, just moving to cloud would not solve those problems. Thinking should be very different because in cloud world, updates are coming monthly, everything is flexible, and your architecture should be the same. It's easy when you create new solutions, then you maybe just not take unneeded things into your Business Central. You use integrations, you use additional apps, Power Platform, Azure, and everything, and it's easy to build new solutions. But what to do with existing ones? So yes, what you need as a team, as a common to grow your competence. First of all, I offer to look around and look at the possibilities of Power Platform of Azure. As my colleague Tautvydas already mentioned, some things from this world, but future is there. And thinking that everything that customer needs should be done directly in Business Central, this thinking should disappear. It's no more such world like we had last 30 years. And this is no more place to have massive operations with data, no more place to keep 30 years of data in Business Central SaaS. You should think that SaaS is only for your daily operational work, and everything else what you need should be integrated, come from outside. Big data should be kept outside Business Central, and then you will be able to build a good solution on cloud. And if you want to transfer your solutions as is, then bigger solutions would have no chance to adopt this cloud offering. But we will talk about it in more details a little bit later. Yeah. So what to do if you have a customer solution you want to bring to SaaS? There is a list of many questions. There are for sure more. But first of all, you need to check readiness of your customer, of your solution. And if it's still supported, are you happy with current customizations? Do you maybe those customizations are outdated and you want to start from scratch from the standard? How is the situation with your data? Are you meeting this 80 gigabytes per tenant requirement or not? Are there all add-ons already available that you need in the app source? Are you ready for web client world if you still work on Windows client or even to the classic one? So there are many questions you need to answer for yourself before coming to SaaS world. But in general, we can classify all SaaS solutions into several groups. So first of all, easiest one. Solutions with no customizations or very small customizations, not far from the standard. For those solutions, it's very easy approach. We just need to use some tools, standard tools to move data to SaaS tenant. And those type of projects can be launched immediately in a few weeks or months. And this is easiest way how to bring solutions. Of course, many partners will say that this is not from real world, but I can disagree. We have many customers, very smaller customers asking, and Even for us, it was a little bit surprising that in the real world, standard solutions are still existing. And of course, when we are coming to SaaS world, there will be more and more standard solutions, because now it's very useful to have standard, because it upgrades every month. You don't need to maintain your customizations then, and you will think twice before implementing new customization. This is absolutely opposite what we did 20 or 15 years ago. Customer needs new customization. Okay, new customization is money for partner. Let's do it. And now you need to think twice. Yeah, sometimes no customizations is better than good customization. Yeah, and yeah, so this part is easiest one. Then obsolete customizations. We have lots of customer solutions implemented 15 years ago with long history and many customizations, and nobody remembers who ordered those customizations, who created them. 90% of them are never used, and then it's very good idea to like train customer to get common with new standard, and yeah, and just do clean start again, move only standard data and do some development on top, maybe create a small extension with top customizations without upgrading whole solution. So yeah, those two categories are easiest. Then we are coming to lightly customized solutions and heavily customized solutions. Both of them can be upgraded, but effort is very different, which you need to give there, or to create simple extension, migrate data, and live happily in SaaS world, or you need to have a serious project. Maybe it can take more than 1 year, and if your solution is really heavy customized. But let's define then what is light and what is heavy. So all additive changes to standard objects, additional fields, actions, functions, custom new object, new tables, pages, and everything, customizations which are created using standard event subscribers, yeah, and compatible with SaaS web clients. All those can be easily transferred to extension, and I think many of us already have skills, including for partners, and to do it, and you don't need to be like 5 stars expert to do it. And heavy customizations, of course, they are destructive changes. They are heavily customized standard functionalities like posting, reservation, cost adjustment, and all are very complicated Business Central things. There are customizations on obsolete functionality, which is completely re-implemented by Microsoft in last versions. And if you have something significant created on old version, then you really have a problem to re-implement everything from scratch using new technologies. And yes, all things where complex re-implementation is needed, where there are usage of things not supported by SaaS, by web client, and you cannot move it, just upgrade it in simple way. You need to rewrite it from scratch. You need to throw out big parts of your modified standard code and write new code which damages does no damages to standard code. So there you need maybe additional things like requesting additional publisher from Microsoft. So it takes time then, because if you will request it today, maybe it would be come with only this fall with wave 2 of current of Business Central version. So yeah, your project of upgrading to SaaS then would be extended and would take years. Yeah. And even more, if you are not only heavily customized, but there are many other limitations, maybe not so many, because when I started to move solutions to SaaS from Business Central 13, so those limitations they were not suitable to one screen. Now we can group them and cover with one slide. But we had lots of issues with performance, and those things are 100 times better than we had in the beginning. We had problems with data migration. We have problems with security. We had problems with backups and things that you were not able to restore your backup by yourself. It was possible only with Microsoft Support Assistant. All those things are already solved. So SaaS product is growing very fast, and it does significant new improvements, and we are very happy with it, because with such speed, I think we would have very decent product in next few years. We already have, but but it goes better and better. But we still have some limitations that are preventing upgrading of some of your customers. So first of all is database size. Most painful, most popular and mentioned by every partner. There is a problem because average solution, I think, is bigger than 80 gigabytes, what you have in your partner's world. So what we are going to do then, there are some lines in green, but I would touch every this point in separate slide. So second thing is missing add-ons in app source. As you can understand, we had thousands of different add-ons in on-premise world. Now we have many add-ons in app source world, but some of those add-ons will never come to SaaS. Some of those add-ons are coming, but not in full functionality. And our partners, they have limitation there because some solutions are not covered now, and they need to wait, or they need to create something new to cover those needs. I think progress there is as well very significant, and every month we are getting more and more, but it's still limitation. Then implementation functionality that is not compatible with SaaS, like using on-premise storages, files, integrations not compatible with those web service APIs, and many other things that we cannot use in SaaS, and we need just to implement it or forget it. So this limitation is as well very actual, and I will touch it in a little bit deeper look. And yes, when we have no standard publishers, and we want to extend standard code, but we have no such possibility. So we need to request new events using Microsoft GitHub and wait, or we need to implement in our way using existing publishers or existing triggers. We can connect to standard code and change behavior of standard code without removing or changing some parts. So those are main groups of limitations. Of course, we have some more lucky limitations, like time limitation to upgrade all those SaaS things, because for now we are upgrading every weekend. We are going live with SaaS solutions. We are including more and more people to this, but I think if all those solutions that are suitable to SaaS will decide to come during next 2 years, we all together with you would be not able to cover this wave, because there's if migration tools and routine would be not simplified, yeah, we would have this very happy challenge. But
Jonas, we also have a question, and it might be that you have covered it already because it was in the beginning. What do you call massive operations with data? Can you elaborate more? You mentioned massive operations with data, but what exactly do you mean? How is massive?
Yeah, how is massive? So thousands of or like I had experience with solutions where they have like hundreds of thousands of sales operations per day in their Navision solution. They have heavy warehousing solutions inside of Navision. I see even like automation solutions that they are like managing their robots from Navision, or like managing doors opening in factory from Navision, and all other things that can be done outside of main functionality. So Business Central in this case, yeah, this is a little bit different approach. This is a place for your sales, purchases, operations of your finance. But if you have like hundreds of thousands of operations per day, maybe, or this system is not for you, or at least this part of operational work is not for Business Central, because they are better products than Business Central SaaS to do those things. And I think that times when you would be able to have like 2 terabyte database on cloud functioning in very good performance and accessible for worldwide, I think without integrations, without using supporting products, BI and data warehouses and specialized tools for separate vertical areas. I think this time I cannot say that it will never come. Everyone remembers that once Bill Gates said that 640 kilobytes is enormous amount of data. So maybe we have.
Never say never.
Yeah.
Jonas, there's another question for you as well, and I'll use that opportunity. Jonas, let's have a case. You have customizations in the ISV range. You can get APP for BC Cloud, but you couldn't change it. How do you handle customizations? How to keep it for BC? It is critical for user to have it for ISV range in this case.
Yeah, so there are many approaches to do it. Theoretically, if this ISV solution and we can create customization in custom range, covering this functionality, similar customization. We are able to move data from ISV range to custom fields just using SQL tools, but thinking about legal way how to do it from extension to extension in ISV range. Yeah, there are only 2 ways, or create something similar in custom range and move data there using development things, or collaborate with add-on provider and find a way how to upgrade the solution in ISV range.
Thank you, Jonas.
Okay. Okay, so let's talk about those limitations, yeah, in a little bit deeper way. So talking about database size. There is a very simple approach. First of all, you just need to delete what you don't need. So sometimes we have solutions where changelog entry takes 75% of all database size, because some managers, they want to know everything. Who changed this item for a property several times per day, who entered this line, who did this thing. So if all those things will be kept in Business Central SaaS, of course, you will never meet your 80 gigabytes rule. So just delete this data, simplify this tracking, and you can win lots of things. Of course, you can delete all data from your custom functionality you never use anymore. You can remove things that can be easily removed. But in general, if you are working for 20 years with the solution, then your ledger entry tables, your main posted document tables, they are quite huge, and you need to use archiving functionality. So, but of course, archiving don't helps too much if archive data is still kept in the same database. So there, if you will take only last 2 or 3 years of information, and all data would be moved to, for example, Power BI system or other BI or data warehousing tool you can easily get and do your analysis, it would help a lot. Main problem is that we don't have tools to do it in simple way. That you need to pay, you need to spend, your customer needs to pay, you need to spend lots of time creating tools, accumulating balances, like breaking Navision, breaking Business Central in this case. So this is not an easy way, but it's possible. And I think it's only a question of time when such tools will be in the market. And another thing, very painful thing, that people like to keep everything inside Business Central database. So I'm talking about attachments, about all scanned documents, about drawings, about photos in some business areas. And this is huge amount of data. I saw solutions where they have several terabytes, and real Business Central data is only 100 or 50 gigabytes. Everything else is those historical data and huge attachments. So what we need to find a way to move all those attachments to external storage, online storage, Azure, or available online things like OneDrive or something like this, just as an example. Everything that can be reached from cloud. And we need to create only links from your work functionality. Yes, now it's still development work as well. It's not a plug and play thing. You need to think about this and you need to implement it. But I hope that it's in the future also there would be comfortable, easy, understandable tools which can do this for you. And having those tools, you would be able to decrease database size of your customer to normal level, which can be accepted by SaaS. And of course, there is option to buy additional gigabytes, but it's quite expensive way. Because you need to pay monthly fee that is significant. I don't remember exact numbers, but yeah, it's like something about 40 USD per gigabyte or per month, and it's painful for every customer, I think, if they need like 100 or more gigabytes. So main thinking is, returning to my first slide I showed to you, we need to change mindset. If we will keep everything in Business Central, then cloud SaaS is not for us, at least not today. And we need to wait for years until this technology will be ready for such amount of data. And if we will restructurize it, if we will find a way how to keep our data around Business Central but not inside, we have a chance. We have a chance to adopt this vault and be very successful there. Okay, yeah. Talking about add-ons, I just checked yesterday. I found about 1,320 them for today available. When I did it like a year ago, a similar webinar, I found around 600. So you can just imagine how fast this world is growing. And I just can forecast that in a year or two, for every vertical area, we would have again apps like we had add-ons for every case of life in on-prem world. So, but yeah, currently we are in this way. And when you analyze your customer solutions, the first question for you is about their current add-ons they want to keep. They don't want to delete. Is this add-on already available in SaaS? It has full functionality of on-premise version or not? And do they have already functioning migration tool that is ready to upgrade this add-on at least to the latest on-premise version? Because if there is SaaS application of the same structure, and if it's possible to upgrade to the same on-premise version, then SaaS synchronization would work well, and we don't need additional tools, especially for SaaS. But all those things, maybe it should check with add-on provider, maybe found in their websites. But I think when evaluating possibility of upgrade customer solution, first of all, you need to check their add-ons. If they need, it should be available. And I think in markets we entered at earlier to SaaS world, their add-ons are already well specified, and they are ready for such things. And but this region is quite new one in SaaS world, and I think we would have together challenges there, upgrading add-on solutions to SaaS, and so it is why this investigation is very important. Because upgrading solution without add-ons, only with your customizations, is quite simple. Yeah, we can do it in an easy way, just planning project together, or you can do it. Or yeah, but add-ons, I think they are taking like 70% of all efforts talking about data migration. Because migration tools, it is a problem. Yeah. Then about complicated re-implementation. So many things are not supported by SaaS, and we always have challenges with automations, .NETs, which are not supported for a client and SaaS. We have missing parts like reports without request pages, like integrations which are done without using web services. We have no possibility to access on-premise file storage resources anymore, and we need to change all functionalities using like table file, system table file, or something like this. Yeah, we cannot use directly lots of other system tables. Some of them are no more existing in SaaS that we used in on-premise. And now we had no possibility to modify standard keys, add standard fields to custom keys, etc. But this problem is step by step solved by Microsoft, and in Business Central 18, in next release, we will have already some answers there. So it's why it's green already, because it's solved. Some properties are not supported, some UI features are not supported. So from one side, it's quite simple. You just upgrade your code to AL. You turn on in your app.json file target cloud, and Visual Studio Code just will you show in red what you need to implement. So it's like simple approach. But in reality, some of those problems can take a lot of time, can take a lot of efforts. You need to disable some functionality at all. you need to replace with other things. You need to, you cannot do the customizations in the same way you did before. So it's not the easiest one. And if you have heavily customized solution, this implementation can take months and will require new publishers in standard code or collaboration with Microsoft even via their GitHub and requesting for some changes in standard functionality just to be able to do things you were able to do in old world. So I think this is most expensive and most challenging part of upgrading to SaaS. Yeah, and if you cannot upgrade your solution to SaaS now, you need to wait. And you need to wait for various things, like for creating standard event publishers, for creating new add-ons, for solving localization app problems, because even if your country is already in SaaS world, already had localized SaaS solution, you still need lots of local solutions to be created as apps. Local government things, things you need to export for your authorities, and etc., etc. You know it better than me. Each for your country, yeah. So this is as well very important part of investigation. Is local functionality ready for SaaS or not? If not, you need to contact with your localization partner. If you are this partner, then give some efforts to solve those problems, and only then your customers will be able to come to SaaS, even if your country is already in this list. Yeah, we need to wait for SaaS and technology improvements like bigger database size, supported additional functionalities, like some of customers I know, they were waiting for this new backup approach when you can restore your backup using Admin Center without asking Microsoft support. Then business feels a lot safer. Yeah, you need time for implementation because some things to implement, big solutions to implement. I know partners who already 2 years are working on some solutions, implementing it step by step, upgrading them to on-premise, to the newer version, and decreasing quantity of base app modifications. But they still have some base app modifications they cannot move out. Yeah, and many other limitations, like in some countries, for example, I know that very serious limitation is still internet speed. Because in bigger cities we have like lightning speed, and in some country areas where big factories internet connection is still poor, and even in such countries like Germany, they still are meeting problems, especially in very old cities, architectural cities, where they have no possibility to get fastest internet line, and only those new 5G and similar technologies can help there. Of course, this is only a matter of time. I think next year, every time brings solutions. Yeah. And so, now let's talk a little bit about OneClick Factory. How we can help you, because we are specializing on such upgrades. Yes, already, I think 2 years we are working with SaaS upgrades. We started from Business Central 13, and with every version we grew and we learned new things. So, as you remember, I classified solutions. So we have services. Agne already showed in the first part. So our upgrade analyzer, just by uploading FOB file, will show you price of every of those services, but what is suitable for SaaS. So if you have no customizations, then just a clean start to SaaS service, cheapest one and simplest one, fastest one. You just can get your data, or experts would move it without disturbing you, fighting with migration tools, add-on tools, and something like this. For outdated solutions, this is as well clean start approach, but of course on top, some development works can be requested done by you or by us to create new extension with simple functionality that is missing in standard for this customer. But the same clean start will move data, and we are covering not only standard data, but we are creating extension with custom data structure. It means that we are creating simple extension which takes all custom fields from standard tables and all custom tables. So we will create tables and table extensions, and we'll take all data together without any losses. And then it's easy to program new functionality when you have all data, just no user interface, no functionality. So this is like preparing for more serious project. Then for customized solutions, where we need to take not only data structure but as well customizations, we have upgrade to SaaS service. And there we already upgrade as is all customizations. We re-implement what we can re-implement, and we estimate quite precisely how big this effort is. So all those easiest parts can be covered in this way. And then for hardware upgrades, we are using lift and shift approach. We can do it in 2 steps together. So first of all, we can do upgrade to on-premise, and when we will solve all things we discussed in the slide about waiting, we can shift the solution to SaaS. When we will be able to implement everything. And even more, we offer intermediate steps. So if a customer already wants to cloud but is not ready for SaaS, we have Azure self-provisioning service where you can just put your solution to cloud and connect with your client like to normal SaaS. Just one disadvantage, it's not automatically upgraded. It's still on-premise solution, but running on cloud server. So this is very good intermediate step, because when you are on-premise, you are responsible for hardware and software buff. If you are on self-provisioning cloud, then you take care only about your software. If you are in SaaS, you are just a user. You pay monthly fee and you enjoy your functionality. So for sure, customers are aiming for the last one, but sometimes it's better middle one. If you are not able to reach best aim, you can. So it was main introduction to technical things, technical limitations we see in SaaS world. Maybe for some of you it was not so technical you expected, but first of all, I think it's better to start from simple things. Yeah. And there is our OneClick Factory downloadable collection. We write some blogs, books, downloadable material, and we have quite many of information for each of you, for development-oriented guys, sales-oriented guys, about upgrading to SaaS cloud. And so, as you can see, we have quite many downloadable material.
And Jonas, I would add to this that we also picked the most popular ones, best upgrading to SaaS and best path to choose upgrades, and we added to the handout session. So I put a comment on this, but for partners who are interested, I would recommend to download it. Maybe you have questions? I don't see new questions coming, but we are about to get to the end of the presentation. So if there are technical questions that are concerning you or you would like to clarify anything, please, now it's the time.
Until we will get new questions, I can go back to one that was mentioned from partner from Bulgaria, I think Nikolai. That big problem is test environment for countries where SaaS is still not available. Because if you are a partner in country where SaaS is available, you just can get tenant for your organization. And if you are living in country that's still not covered by SaaS, but you already want to try, you want to create your ISV solutions for app source and etc., etc. So what to do then? I posted a link in this question and answers poll, and there is Microsoft demo environment platform that you can use for creating demo environments for any localization. So there, even if you have no access to your country as a SaaS localization, you are able to create any localization in Europe, in North America, in Asia that is supported, and try all the things there. And 30 and 90 days free trial demo environments are available. And even more, you can try Power Platform, Power BI there. It would create you environment with already predefined users. You will get admin account. You would be able to try admin centers, how it works, how to set up everything. Personally, I use this portal a lot, and I used it until SaaS came to Lithuania as well. So I was creating tenants in Netherlands or USA and played with them, learned how to migrate solutions. So it's available for you as well, I hope. Let's try, because sometimes Microsoft changes things in their security and things that, but I don't think that it is prohibited for someone of you, because every partner should be able to connect this platform. Okay. Do we have something more?
We also had a separate session completely focused on upgrading to SaaS limitations. So if you would like to get the recording of that session, because quite many technical questions we are covered in that session, please address to us too, and we would be happy to share the recording of that session. I don't see new questions coming up, so I guess we can wrap up. I hope that you found the session valuable. Oh, Dovila is waving that stop your speech. There is a question. So, yeah. Jonas, let's have another case. You have field length changes and declined MS request. What you can recommend?
Depends which field you modified. Usually, we are creating additional fields and extensions, and combine them like in old version, for example. Not always in old version we extended, for example, description field from 50 to 200. We just added description 2, 3, or 4, and in the page we connected those fields. So best idea is to manage it like this in extension, and migrate data in such way using custom fields, because it's easy to use your custom field and update standard functionality to using only extension methods to maintain it, to fill it during posting, and to display it in pages. I think it's technically, of course, harder than just extend field, but it's possible, and we did it many times. And for sure, Microsoft extends some fields in each edition. And we even created a tool for ourselves to get all those field extensions when we are upgrading solutions. And it's not so easy, especially when they are used multiple times and one variable is assigned to another one, and only this another one has direct link to extended field. Then it's sometimes impossible to catch, and only during testing we see that some longer values don't work. But yes, we are trying to catch and manage those situations, and we are implemented using additional fields, using extension when we cannot do it directly in standard field.
Okay, thank you, Jonas. Again, back to my ending speech. I'm really happy to see you joining, and I wish you super luck with your new projects, with new Business Central SaaS version available in even more countries for Central Eastern Europe. And if there's anything that we can support you on your way, either upgrading or selling CSP licensing, or simply consulting on what is there that you can look after, we will be here ready to support you on your growth. So thank you once again. Have a pleasant day, great day for you all. Thank you, Jonas.
Thank you all. See you.